Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kyler and I am a fashion designer, and I have decided to start this channel to help those that want to learn more about fashion. I am a working fashion designer and I have a degree in fashion, and I want to give back to people. I feel like, education can be very expensive. Fashion is one of those things that is very difficult to kind of learn if you don't have the funds to go to school for it. I was lucky enough to study with a private designer for half of my life. I just stumbled upon her and I'm lucky for that reason. So for those that aren't so lucky or don't have the money or simply just want to pick this up as a hobby, I want to offer this channel to you, and I will be doing a series of videos giving my sort of understandings and expertise in the field. Right now I am a graduate student studying fashion further than just my bachelor's, and I plan on becoming a professor in the future, a full-time faculty member. That's my goal, and so I'm using this as a way to sort of prepare for that future and also prepare for how it will be working with others and critiquing, educating, doing all the things that a professor might do in the fashion world. So I've decided to start this channel off with a sort of long-ish list of processes that designers go through, which will document my process specifically in the fashion design world. So essentially this will be a documentation and a teaching of how I start from one idea and go into an entire collection. So first things first, what you want to know is sort of how to begin this process. If you're new to fashion, fashion can come from anything and can come from anywhere. I draw inspiration from so many different things. Some are a little weird, some are a little fun, some are a little sexy, just depends on kind of what I'm in the mood for. I think that, starting with a good inspiration is probably the most important thing that you can do. And from there, what you would do is kind of take it all the way through a series of steps that will lead you to the end of having a collection. And so, your goal may not be to have 100 pieces like McQueen, but it may be to have one or two things that you're making for yourself. And I think that this process that you will see throughout this playlist is going to show you how you can go from that idea that you have in your head. So we'll talk about things related to actual physically illustrating, to mood board baking, to flat sketching, to working with fabrics, selecting fabrics, knowing your customer, how to drape, how to flat pattern. So I'll be going through all of the different things, and what I'll do on this video, since this is just an overview, is I will show you a brief kind of rundown of some of my work, and that way you can get an idea of how I kind of focus myself whenever I'm designing under an idea. So yeah, but that's a little bit about what we're going to be doing on this. I know this is a shorter video, but this is just kind of the precipice for what is to come. And so let's check out what I've done. All right, so with this collection, Biophilia, this is a spring-summer collection that I put together recently. And obviously it was inspired by Beatles. And I will sort of go more into detail than just this is my inspiration. The things I will show you will actually be about defining your inspiration and why you have it. This is a page dedicated more so to mood board making and getting your concepts, your inspiration kind of together and more honed in. So this is a PDF file that was more about presentation than it was showing the process, but I will show you how that will happen in the actual sketchbook when you break down the actual components. You can see here there's a description, which ultimately you don't really need this much wording when you're working in just visuals, so you could just potentially have an entire page of a whole bunch of images related to your inspiration. And so here's actually an example of some of the work in the pages and how I've worked inside the sketchbook. And these are the process pages for the concept. So how I came up with these, this is honestly like the 4th or 5th trial run of getting shapes that I liked. So this wasn't even your first run. So, and then they just get more and more dwindled down into better things, better shapes, and then it moves into Illustrator, and so the files get, you know, more sophisticated as you go on. And then there's fabric selection and your research. You know, this is all about making textiles dependent on what works best for your collection. Embroidery was used in this one. It doesn't have to be. This is just how you would do it if you were working in different things. After you have kind of gotten your ideas down and you've sketched them out and you've liked what you're doing, you will eventually have to start making it. And now you can either make it in production level, mass market, where you reach out to factories to have something constructed for you in however many units, or you can do independent freelance-based designing where it can be a little bit more intimate. So this one is definitely where I just was doing one and was just showing that muslin development there. And then the final garment with a few detail shots for presentation at the end. This is one of the most important things that you'll learn probably in this series is the flat pattern sort of tech packs and flat sketching. All of those are extremely important to communicating to whoever is making it, whether it's yourself or someone else in the factory, how this garment will be constructed, which will include imagery from what it looks like when it's made to actual fabrications. And so you'll work with that. And then I just included this cover or this end page just for fun. So with that said, you know, this is just a page of my work, and there are several other things that we could look at to see. Like this is a more process heavy one too. So sort of the same concept. You've got inspiration jumping from that to forms and 3D development, two-dimensional shapes becoming CAD drawings, and so the process stays the same with this textile development, and how they relate to your original illustrations is really important to the overall design. And so again, you're developing muslin and you're creating tech packs, and that's just another end page. So that's a quick little glimpse into some examples. All right, so now that we've seen a couple of examples from a little bit of what I've been doing, I do want to say that I probably will make the series a little bit more tactile and hands-on, so working directly in the sketchbook and getting more into detail about how the process works. A lot of what you just saw was the result of that concept development, and so making sure that you start with a good foundation will lead to good design, and that's sort of what I plan on achieving with this. So I do hope that you join me in the process, and I hope that you learned something. And if there's anything in particular that you're interested in learning, please feel free to either message me, comment, however, just let me know. In the future, I would like to eventually do more specialized training videos, and maybe even some portfolio reviews if people felt comfortable having them reviewed or critiqued, just for experience to have that. All right, everybody, so that's all I have for now, but if you enjoyed this so far and you want to keep up with the design process that I take when I'm creating fashion, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next time when we talk about inspiration and ideation. Bye.